Yeah, I think the little things, we've kind of just shot ourselves in the leg consistently doing that. We turn the ball over. We foul a lot. Those are just easy points for them. I don't know how many points they had at the free throw line tonight, but I think they had 18 off of our turnovers, and that mostly falls on me. That falls on me as our point guard. I think I have to really get us into stuff, especially in the fourth quarter. We didn't do a good job of taking care of the ball. I didn't. So I think just starts with me and just getting better in that. And I feel like we're really close to being really good, and I think that's what's kind of been frustrating about these few losses. And I think for us today, I think this is much different than the Golden State loss. I think Golden State, we just got straight up outplayed and out hustled. Tonight we did things really well for a good portion of the game. I thought we executed in our scout in the ways that we wanted to, and down the stretch we just really couldn't find a way to get it done.
What was the challenge of getting any kind of offensive flow today? Both teams seem to have a tough time.
I thought we executed really well in the first half. I thought we did a tremendous job of making them pick and choose out of the ball screen if they're going to play drop. AB's going to have a field day, and that's exactly what she did. She was able to get just naked rolls to the rim and be able to finish, and then they made an adjustment in the second half and kind of clogged it a little bit more, and we weren't quite able to get exactly what we wanted there. I thought at times we could have played a little bit faster, and I think that's on me, not conceding in that. We still got to play up tempo. We still got to play fast. But I thought for the most part we did a lot of stuff that coach wanted us to do, and that wasn't why we lost.
Caitlin, I believe you're 1-17 from 3 over the past 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling off at all from 3 or anything?
No, there's going to be stretches that are really good, and there's going to be stretches that aren't as good, and obviously it's frustrating. You want them to go in, and even tonight I felt like there was a few that felt really good off my hand, and it just didn't go down. And even the mid-range jump shot to start the fourth quarter and the 3 to start the fourth quarter, they both felt good off my hand. So it's just frustrating. And I think for the challenge for myself going forward is just continue to pour into every other aspect of the game, and I can continue to have an impact in all those other areas. I thought I got to the rim well. It was just certainly a tough shooting night, and I got to find a way to continue to shoot and remain confident in myself, because I know I put the time in. But for me, I don't feel like it's anything that's off necessarily. But it'd be nice if they went down.
Aliyah, you guys are on day 2 of this road trip. You guys have a lot of games coming up with a little rest in between. What's the focus right now for this group in terms of stuff off the court as well and trying to get momentum?
Yeah, just making sure that we're taking care of our body, taking care of each other. And then for us, our focus is Seattle. We can't look too far ahead because Seattle is right around the corner. So just making sure that we look at this game, what Seattle does, how we want to play, make sure we are just prepared, because obviously they're a good team, and so we have to make sure that we're ready for that.
Caitlin, I know you see this everywhere you go, but how do you feel when you walk into a opposing arena and you see all these young girls and young boys wearing your jersey?
Mm-hmm.
With signs for you and stuff. How does it, as a person, how does that make you feel to see that away from home?
Yeah, I obviously really, really appreciate it. A lot of people spend a lot of time and money to be able to see us play just one time. So that's never something that gets old, and I think it's always a good reminder for myself if, I have a tough day like today or, whenever. It's just there's so many people that are there supporting you and love watching you play basketball. And at the end of the day, that's why you do it, because you can inspire a lot of young girls. So just really thankful for those people that continue to show up and support our team and, love on my teammates. So it certainly isn't something that ever gets old.
At what point, this question is for each of you, at what point, the two-woman game between the two of you was working amazing in the first half, and later on in the third, at what point do you know, this is going to work?
When do we know?
When we watched film.
Yeah.
We knew it was
we
gonna
scout.
work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you think what was the game plan against her to kind of slow her down?
Well, like I said pregame, it was just to try to make everything as difficult as possible. Asia's one of the best players in the world. You're not going to stop her. So we just needed to make it difficult, and I thought AB did. But Asia did what great players do, and they step up in the fourth quarter, and that's what she did.
Caitlin's 1-17 from 3 over the past 2 games. Just what have you said to her, or what has she kind of said about keeping that confidence in this
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is what we have to do as a staff to get her better looks, like higher quality looks. Every game plan is going to be to make her score inside the three-point line, right? And the different ways that they're going to do that. Physicality, coverage, showing bodies, all the different things. And, we have to do a better job of getting her higher quality looks. I'm not worried about Caitlin's shot. Caitlin's shot is going to be just fine. The thing I'm worried about is our 18 turnovers for 28 points.
Last two games, you guys have been leading going into half, the fourth quarter, giving up around 16 points. Just what stands out to you about the last final minutes of both those games?
Yeah, I felt like everything we did was a lack of discipline in some way, shape, or form. Turnovers, fouls, missed rotations on the defensive end of the floor, giving up timely offensive rebounds, things like that. It's all things that are correctable. And I think the challenge for us as when you think about, our big three and how young they are, together especially, the challenge is you got to shorten those moments, right? It can't be 5-6 possessions in a row. We call a timeout when it's 5-0. We come out, we execute, and then I think they go on like another 6-0 run. Like you got to be able to, in those moments, problem solve, and you got to be able to nip it. I mean, great team. Basketball's a game of runs, but we have to shorten the opponents. And we have to lengthen hours. And sometimes it's as simple as just being a little bit more patient and disciplined.
Stephen talking about, to piggyback off that, Golden State days, did it feel like there were some similarities considering Natalie's a protege of Becky's and what you were seeing out there and trying to make adjustments on the fly? Did it seem something similar like we just saw in the system?
I don't know if it just as far as the system, just because the personnel is so different. I think more than anything, when you saw the way that that Jackie gets downhill, right, that she attacks the rim, when you saw where Asia started getting the ball as opposed to where she got the ball early in the ball game, how intentional they were at making sure they got it in those possessions. Chelsea, who always hits the timely big ones. They're championship pedigree. And in those moments, they step up and make the big plays. And so I think more than anything, this game did not feel the same as Golden State. I think we still grew in ways. But at the end of the day, we've got to find ways to win ball games.
You mentioned, obviously, they're good games, but Aliyah and I put in
Yep.
some work. And even Dana and Tiff, it's not on the stat sheet, but the minutes that they provide, you saw about their bench, how key it is.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like they always do a really good job of having the players that come off the bench that fill the gaps, right? That fill the holes. And Aliyah Nye, who we know is a knockdown shooter, made some big ones. Dana gives Chelsea a spell, right? She comes in and she's different. With her speed and her quickness and her ability to get downhill. And obviously Tiff comes in and makes an impact, gets to the free throw line, has a couple of rebounds. I mean, positive plus minus by everybody from the bench. And it takes everybody.
Edie didn't play today. Was that just trying to get Bree-Turner assimilated before Edie needs her?
No, it was more of a matchup thing. It was more of a matchup. I like Bree Turner's length and defensive ability. On Asia, or when we had to get into some switches, and it's always kind of a tough decision sometimes with the offense that Edie can give us with this matchup, and sometimes it is as simple as just it's matchup driven.